So I know that a lot of us are a little disillusioned with politics now. We have a Congress that basically does nothing. We have a Supreme Court that's understaffed. We have a couple of presidential candidates that have the highest negatives that are basically ever recorded. And that is kind of disheartening when you talk about politics, and here I am saying, oh, I want to vote and join all of this. Why? Or stay joined. And in Leesburg this fall, it's going to really be wild because we have 10 people running for 4 spots. We have 7 people running for the 3 spots on council and 3 people running for the 1 spot of mayor. So it's kind of crazy, crazier than maybe it's ever been. And so some of the questions is, well, how do we fix this craziness in politics? Well, it's an easy answer. You have to elect the right people. I know that sounds trite, but it's true. But how do you do that? Well, there's a few things that I can tell you that are reasons why you may vote for somebody but aren't really good reasons. One is they pretend to espouse the values that you have. Oh, I'm for the environment, and this person says they're from the environment. Or I'm in business, this person says that they're pro-business. Politicians don't believe them, right? The best thing to do is ask them, say, prove to me that you walk the talk. It's easy to talk. It's easy for politicians to talk. They love standing up here like I am. What do you do in your daily life that actually shows me that you are following through on what you promised? One quick instance for me, my family thinks I'm crazy, but like when I volunteer at Loudoun County High School during their athletic events, and you're working concessions. At the end of the night, they end up with a whole stack of pizza boxes and a whole bunch of other things that are recyclable. And what do? They throw them out in the garbage. I am constitutionally incapable of doing that. So what I'll do is I'll take all these boxes and I'll put them in my car and I'll bring them home and put them in my recycling because I just cannot stand the idea of putting them in the trash. And my wife knows this and she thinks I'm crazy. Okay? But that's a small instance of walking the talk. Ask them to walk the talk. A second thing is, well, that person's so nice, I'd love to hang out with them. And it's nice. I think I'm nice.
Nice enough.
I'm nice enough, yeah. I wouldn't mind hanging out with any one of you, okay? But, I'd like to hang out with my brother too, but I wouldn't vote for him for mayor. Great guy, but he's not a mayor. And the third thing is, you've all heard they make campaign promises and don't believe them. They lie. They don't always mean to lie, but when they say they're going to do something, ask them specifically, how are you going to get that done? What are you going to do to make sure that it gets done? Don't tell me, wave your hand and say, I'm going to fix the traffic going up Route 15 in the evening. Sure, if they have a good solution, ask them what that solution is and then tell me, because then we can put it in place, because that's a hard one. But they'll do that all the time. What specifically you're going to do and how are you going to do it to get it done? But there's 3 reasons to vote for somebody. Okay? One is, do they know what they're doing? Easy thing to say. The only qualification for being in elected office, like this one, is you get more votes than the other person. It says nothing about the qualifications. When you work for K2M and you're hired as an engineer, you assume that HR has made sure that you have certain qualifications and you've interviewed and all of that. That's not the case with politicians, right? Could be anybody. Ask them what's their background that proves to you that they have the knowledge and the experience to get done what needs to get done. On the council, we deal with budgets. We deal with land use. Okay? And what have they done in those areas that makes it that they're appropriate? We also deal with the law. What's their experience in dealing with the law? How do they actually operate? Have they gone to planning commissioner training, which really helps you understand what the role of the job is? Have they been a project manager? Have they managed budgets in the past? Have they run organizations? Have they led anything? Especially if they want to be mayor. What have they led in the past that makes you think that they could be good as a mayor? Okay? Very important, good questions. More important even is, do they play well with others? Well, seriously, this is not a dictatorship. We live in a democracy. There's 7 people up there, and in order to get stuff done, you need 3 other people that are going to think the way you do. Have they been on committees? Have they been in office? What do the rest of the people that have been in their office think of them, and how easy were they to work with? If they're hard to work with, they're not going to be successful. And I know that from personal experience on both ends. But the most important thing is, what have they accomplished? What have they actually driven to completion? Who hasn't been the 4th vote on council, but who was the 1st vote that made things happen? That was the main advocate for something that actually did it. It's easy to stand up there and just vote. Who are the people that are the movers and shakers that are actually getting things done? If they've been on council or they've been on the board of supervisors, ask them. What did you make happen? What happened just because you were there? If they haven't held elected office, show me in the past, prove to me that you know how to get things done. That's very hard. And but if we had every politician got things done, played well with others, and knew what they were doing, this would be an even greater country, and we would not have a lot of the issues that we have today. And then I want to end with just 3 questions that I typically get as I'm mayor. One is, how do you handle all the people like in the paper that write letters that say you're this and you're that, and your insults, and they treat you poorly and all of that? How do you handle it? And I say it's really not that big of a deal, because what they're doing is they don't have any substance in what they're saying. If that's all they got is insults, okay, then I'm winning and I'm getting stuff done. And so bring it on. And the second thing is, they say, why do you want to run for mayor? Probably the big question. And I'll tell you why I want to run for mayor, is all these things that you've seen up here for the last hour and 10 minutes, these are all things that I personally drove that would not have happened or would have been taken a much longer time to occur if I hadn't been on council. Every one of those. There's a story behind every one if any one of you want to hear them. But every one. And so when I see people dining on the street downtown, I feel good. I know that I've made a difference. When I see a building like this is here. I sat and I negotiated with the developers. I made this happen. And it feels good. It feels like I've made a difference. So that's why I want to be mayor. And the third thing, which I got to look at my cheat sheet for, people say, how does it feel to have people calling you up and dumping their problems on you all the time? Like, people call up and say, hey, this person has chickens in the side yard. What can I do about it? This person hasn't thrown out their garbage. This person has a pod and been there for 6 months. And, you know, people are speeding down the street. And I say I love it when people do that, because I'm an engineer. And as the engineers in K2M and every place know that what do engineers like the most is problems, because that gives them a chance to solve them. And that's what we do. We like to solve problems, even if there isn't any. We'll solve a problem. And so if there is problems, that makes it even better. And so what I need your help to help continue to make a difference in Leesburg. And what I want you to do is help support good governance. And so then that way, you'll get the right politicians, the right representatives for you. And it's not just the people that want to try their best, but you'll get the people that will be the best. All right, thank you very much, and enjoy the food and the snacks.